We are the Lockwoods, and we're traveling the world to experience up close and in person all the natural wonders and distinct cultures that our kids would otherwise be learning about only through books and TV. It's our second day in Japan's historic city of Kyoto, and we're about to pack 5,000 years worth of authentic sights and bites into just a few hours. From samurai tea to Shinto shrines, from alleyway foods to dancing geisha, and all from our home base here at the Four Seasons Kyoto. Let's get to it.
We are so grateful that we're staying at the Four Seasons in Kyoto because so much about their property and their activities that they have on the property are about the culture and the history here in Kyoto. So we're gonna do something that is very important to Japanese culture, and that is their tea service ceremony.
Perfect day to have a little bit of tea. Number one, it's a great mid-morning pick-me-up, and with the weather outside, it's so drizzly. I think that this is gonna be a really fitting backdrop just to set the mood.
We have to walk to the tea ceremony. The building we're going to, the tea house, is called Shakasuite. Shakasuite.
Yes.
I think it makes it more charming that we're in the rain right now because the pond has been here for over 800 years. There's a ton of history over this pond that we're going to share with you in a little bit. The rain adds kind of to the ambiance of a somber, reflectful day, and the tea is going to be relaxing. Thank you so much.
This is just a waiting room. We're gonna get a little bit of an introduction first.
But look how pretty it is. We're right over the pond, and it has a little extension with the deck out over it. The translation for this writing is once in a lifetime, meaning that you're only here in this moment, enjoying this experience once in your life. You can't take it back once you've experienced that moment. And that kind of reminds me of our travels because everything we do, it's like a new experience on the spot, and it's adding to our lives and we can't take it back.
Christina, I am the tea ambassador of Japan, and I will be your guide and host for today's tea ceremony.
So walking from this room to the next is part of the experience too because they want you to incorporate all 5 senses, and this is our sight, our feel, our smell. We're smelling the garden, we're seeing the garden, and we're feeling the air as we walk to the next room.
This is how you're supposed to wash your hands before you have tea. Scoop the water, pour it on your one hand, pour it on your other, then you wash your mouth.
Right.
And then you wipe the water off your chin. Is it sharp?
No,
Okay,
it's a fake one.
This rack up here is for the katana, which means sword in Japanese, and the men were not allowed to bring their weapons into the tea house, so this is where they would leave them. This is where Colt leaves his katana.
Katana.
Katana!
Not katana.
Katana! I needed that.
Here's with an
We have to go in the little door. The door is small because it means everybody is equal and they have to bow to come into the tea house.
I just kind of squatted, but I think it still counts.
This is fuchiyaka. The box is wood and lacquer, and you put the boxes down, open it up a little for the first person to use their poki, and then you move it to the next person, and so on until the last one is me. And this is rice flour, right?
Yes.
It's a rice flour sweet, and all of their desserts at tea time change seasonally, just like the flour here will change seasonally based on what time of year it is, the weather, and the tools they have at that season.
Even though we have our little pokers, you can just eat these with your hands. This particular one anyway, because it's nice and clean. It's almost like a little piece of nigiri sushi. There is a little swallow that's kind of painted on there. They put it on there with a branding iron, so it's basically burnt on there. It's got like a little bit of a green hue from the light. Very ricey bite. Such a great texture. Tastes like it's covered in sugar, subtly. It's not like biting into the flavor of sugar with all of that sweetness. And then the filling, you can see inside there, that's bean paste. And this is chilled, very good.
Hello again.
chodai itashimasu.
The little chant that he was doing there is a traditional way for one of the people who's in the tea house to kind of ask for permission to go ahead and enjoy their tea. If the tea is set down in front of them, it can be a little bit awkward, like, is it okay for me to drink this tea now? So that's a way to say to the next person at the table, is this okay for me to proceed? And then they say, yes, of course, and then you enjoy the tea.
Chodai itashimasu. And then you greet the tea master, and then you turn your bowl all the way around around because you want to see all of the features of the bowl. You want to be humble. You don't want to just drink what is facing you. You want to experience the whole bowl. And most of them have a lot of designs, even if they're subtle. It smells so good. The ceremony is not just about art and the presentation of it. It's also about meditation. And it was something that was really important during war times, because when people are stressed out, they felt like it was important to meditate by doing the tea ceremony and have a reflection of themselves and the world and what's going on and come out more peaceful and serene.
Now Brooklyn's gonna try her hand at making tea.
This was more of a thin tea, and Brooklyn's going to make a thick tea. So it's gonna be less water, more powder. Well, more like a yogurt consistency. Very thick. Brooklyn did a good job. That's just like a lot of matcha.
A lot of
matcha, but really good. Good job, Brooklyn.
Colt made me a thicker one though too. I think I like it. I prefer it that way.
Yeah?
Yeah, the more matcha, the better.
More matcha.
One big difference between this matcha green tea and normal, well, a lot of kinds of green tea that you might have at home or other types of black tea that you have is that most of those are going to be infusion. So you take the tea leaves and it's got, maybe it's in the bag or the strainer, and you're just infusing the water. Whereas matcha, you're taking the tea leaves, grinding it into a powder, and then you're literally drinking that powder. So you're drinking the tea leaves. Much healthier, and I think much more enjoyable.
It's so cool that this was a practice done hundreds of years ago, and we just got to do the same ritual today. So grateful. Thank you so much.
Now that we're a little caffeinated, we're gonna grab a really good lunch so that we can fuel up, because we need the energy to head out and explore more of Kyoto. We're gonna have lunch at their signature restaurant in the hotel, and it is called Brasserie. It's an approachable French fare.
This is also where you would have breakfast. They have a really great buffet, and you can order a la carte off the menu too, but I love a good resort buffet breakfast.
We're going off of the a la carte menu for lunch. They also have a drink menu that's on the little iPad here, and then this is like a light kind of menu. Calamari fritters, truffle french fries, smaller bites. Seeing a lot of my favorite things on here: beef tartare, scallop carpaccio, foie gras terrine, and salad niçoise. I love a good salad niçoise at a French restaurant. Light, healthy, and delicious.
And they also have a really fun kids menu when I fell out, but the menu's on their little mask. The kids got cheeseburgers. They look so good, but I am not jealous because I got this scallop carpaccio. It looks incredible. I am so happy with my choice. And I love how beautiful this room is. This wall is 2-story glass from floor to ceiling, and it overlooks the pond, which is so pretty, so zen. And we can even see the tea house from here. Don't forget dessert. Everything sweet that we've had here has been so delicious. They have a really incredible bakery. From the cookies in our room, the cookies in Colt and Brooklyn's room, our little Zen garden, edible Zen garden, and the desserts here, so good.
Another kid-friendly activity they have here is feeding the koi fish in the koi pond, and they have fish food behind the bar over here, so you can just ask for it and they'll give it to the kids so that they can take it out and feed the fish.
The fish food smells like when we go to the hamster aisle at PetSmart. It's opening its mouth. I will aim for the mouth.
The Four Seasons Kyoto is built around this centerpiece of the entire grounds. It's a 10,000 square meter Zen garden, and it's been here since the 12th century, when it was part of the mountain villa of the eldest son of a very famous samurai warrior.
And the garden and the pond are called shakusuin.
One thing I love about this hotel is it can seem a little bit understated when compared to some other Four Seasons around the world. But once you get up close and start to see some of the details, you notice that it's anything but. For example, this Hermes bicycle, completely carbon fiber, belt driven, one of a kind, created by the Hermes Horizons department, which is responsible for bespoke projects like private jet interiors and luxury car interiors. And then there's this one of a kind Hermes rickshaw, which they say is like so heavy you wouldn't even want to pull it, but honestly, that makes me want to pull it even more.
Even the ceiling in the outdoor of the entrance is a piece of art. It's supposed to mimic a geisha's umbrella. But we're out here because we're gonna catch a cab and head into Kyoto and see some of the sights here. Our first stop is only a 7-minute drive from the hotel. We're headed to Fushimi Inari Shrine, which is a Shinto shrine, and that is a structure that houses one or more deities in the Shinto religion. And this one, Inari, is the god of rice.
Shinto is Japan's oldest religion, and there are over 400 Shinto shrines in Kyoto alone.
This symbol here is called a torii gate, and it represents the border between the secular world and the sacred world. And this is the main torii gate to the entrance, and there are a few traditions.
You have to bow before you enter, and you gotta go from the side and not the middle. I kind of want to go from the middle.
And this place is also called the Torii Gates because there are thousands of vermilion torii gates. And if you don't know what vermilion is, it is a shade of red. It looks kind of orange to me though.
The shrine dates back to before Kyoto became the capital of Japan in 794.
Each one of these tories was donated by a person or a company. The smaller ones were 400,000 yen, which is about 3,000 US dollars. And the larger ones are over 1,000,000 yen, which is over 7,500 US dollars. The name of the donors and the dates and some information like that is on each of the tories. To go all the way up to the summit and back takes 2 to 3 hours, but we have more of Kyoto we want to see, so we're actually going to head back here to go to our next spot, and it is our favorite thing about travel. I am so bummed that we didn't get to do things like the bamboo forest or many other temples that are iconic in Kyoto, but we couldn't miss this. We're at Nishiki Market. And there are 5 things that we have got to find and try. This market is 400 years old, and it originally started off as a fish market.
And it's known as Kyoto's Kitchen.
We already found our first out of the 5, and it is a rice cracker that they're gonna do custom seasoning for us. So Colt, how spicy do you want your rice cracker? 3 levels of spicy. Extra hot, medium, or mild?
Medium.
Medium, okay. What about, you wanna try sancho? Normal? And medium, okay. Ooh, that smells good. That smells kind of citrusy. We got the Sancho seasoning. Sancho seasoning. But it smells good. I'm glad we got that. Oh, that's really good. That's so yummy. I love this flavor.
Good. Oh my god. Really salty. It's spicy too.
It is?
Wow.
That's good. Very good.
That's
Yeah.
in water.
Oh, that's a fun way to taste spices. Just add hot water.
Funny story. There is a total misunderstanding. They just made us some custom spices, which is great. And then we bought some rice crackers, and we're gonna make our own custom spice rice crackers. Making the most of it. So we're gonna put some spices in here. What do you think?
It tastes like the spice part of spicy. It's not just spicy, it tastes like the pepper part of the spicy. Was it too spicy for Colt?
Maybe. It's not too spicy for me.
I think you gotta let it sit and soak in so the powder sticks more.
But overall, a really enjoyable experience. We fixed it. We got what we wanted in the end. Our custom seasoned rice cracker. I like it a lot.
This marketplace is so long. We've already crossed 3.5 city blocks, and I can't even see the end out the other side. This next stop is mostly for Brooklyn. One of her favorite things in the world is steak. Second favorite thing is sushi. Best of both worlds, beef sushi.
Okay.
Big.
Look at that fresh wasabi on it. I'll be honest, it's chewier than I expected it to be. It's like a really nice bite of steak. But my favorite part was that horseradish on top. It was really, really good. So flavorful.
Once again, my piece was actually really tender. I think that was fantastic. I kind of expected it to be raw, but they cook it here. But that wasabi actually really does overpower, I think, to a large extent, the flavor of the beef itself. But it's fantastic wasabi, so it's a win-win. That was a really good bite.
Fruit sando is where they didn't cut off the crust. Violation! There's 2 different types of bread. Oh no!
Violation.
Anyways, fruit sando is where you put fruit on a sando.
So these fruit sandos are just a sandwich that's traditional in Japanese, and it is white bread, very soft. Usually the crusts are cut off. Here they're cut off just enough to make it into a perfectly square shape. They fill them with fruit. Sometimes you can get them with Nutella, like we got in Oahu, Hawaii. Beautiful, beautiful slicing right down the middle so that you get the face of the fruit in there, and it just looks incredible. And I've never actually tasted one myself, but these kids Eat them up, literally.
Super good kid food. Fruit, bread, and I guess milk because of the whipped cream. I'm so bummed. We found our next stop, and it's Taco Tamago, which is a baby octopus with a quail egg stuffed in the head and then cooked, and you eat it, and it's super yummy. But we can't try it because they're all out. Instead, we're going to quickly try their marinated octopus and run to our next bite because we are in a time crunch. We're getting some matcha dumplings, and we're gonna have to eat them back in our hotel room because we have to get back for something really special that's gonna happen. This place locally sources its matcha powder from a town called Uji, which is the first place that green tea was made in Japan. So it all started with this place. Not this place, but where they sourced it from. Make sense? Whew, I am so glad we made it back in time because the Four Seasons has a geisha coming to the hotel, and they're gonna do a little performance, and I think we get to have a photo shoot after. But this is a really special thing because a lot of people will come to Kyoto hoping to spot a geisha, like walking to and from a job or something like that, and you're not usually supposed to approach them unless you are one of their clients. And here we're not just gonna run into one, we're gonna watch them perform. So that performance is about the changing seasons, the Four Seasons. Very appropriate here. We're really grateful that the Four Seasons had this because we went to Gion yesterday, which is the geisha district, and we couldn't even spot a geisha from afar. And if you do, you're not supposed to approach them. You're just supposed to admire them from a distance. But here, we get to see one right in front of us, and then we get a photo shoot with them.
I noticed her looking at Colt quite a bit throughout that performance.
It was as if she chose, like, whenever she's looking in one direction, she has like a person she has to look at.
And she chose you, Colt. I'd look at him. Nelvin is telling us that there are about 300 geisha in Kyoto. So to spot one, it's like hitting the
Pretty rare.
jackpot.
It's actually not how much money you have here to see a geisha perform, it's who you know.
That's right, and we know the Four Seasons.
Yes, we do. So we're very, very lucky to actually see a geisha perform tonight. Oh, here's a fun fact that you guys probably didn't know. Gei means art, and sha means person.
Art person.
Art person.
There you go.
Voila. Yeah. We're about to take some pictures right now, so that's gonna be pretty
Awesome. So now we finally get to try these matcha dumplings, which is full circle because we pretty much started the day with our green tea matcha tasting, the tea ceremony. So individually wrapped. Oh, it's soft and gushy. Matcha from where matcha was first made. There's like a chocolate in there. It has a little bit of a anise flavor, but it's really good. It's like a gummy. Really soft, really chewy gummy.
Very soft. I'm surprised that even holds itself together. Let's eat this entire box so we have plenty of sugar energy to go to the pool.
One of the kids' favorite things about this hotel is the pool. It is not common to have a pool this big in Japan, and it is the biggest indoor pool in Kyoto. It also has a huge hot tub, so it doesn't matter what time of year, it's indoor, you can swim, you can hot tub. They also have some awesome saunas in the locker room.
While Aaron and the kids are hitting the pool, I'm hitting the gym. This is by far the best gym I've ever had at any hotel or resort in our travels around the world. It smells incredible in here, like eucalyptus and wood. It's like a spa. The equipment in here, I mean, an entire fleet of treadmills, an entire fleet of ellipticals. You've got free weights. You've got all of this amazing machinery in here, plus TVs and blood pumping music. When you're ready for a little bit of a break, there's an espresso machine. There's a refrigerator with complimentary bottled water and energy drink. It is better than a lot of professional gyms I've worked out in over the past 15 years.
The kids are definitely gonna get a good night's sleep. Speaking of, we'll see you in the morning. This has been an amazing stay in Kyoto and the Four Seasons. The adults had a great time, the kids had a great time, and we wish we could stay so much longer because it is the perfect family-friendly, best friend-worthy hotel in Kyoto. But we're not done in Japan. We're heading to Osaka now, so subscribe, join us, come along, and explore the rest of Japan and the world with us.
We're the Lockwoods, Aaron, Phil, Reagan, Brooklyn, and Cole. We're traveling the world to experience, up close and in person, all the natural wonders and distinct cultures that our kids would otherwise be consuming only through textbooks and TV. We think it's a better way to learn, and we're working hard to fund this little experiment in the hope that our kids will grow up wiser, kinder, and more grateful for the beauty of our diverse planet and its people.